NicheSportz are proudly sponsored by heshes.co.uk, a fast-growing boxing equipment brand that give 20% of all sales on the branded products back to a boxing gym of your choice.
This is NicheSportz, proudly sponsored by heshes.co.uk. Dev Sahni, while another promotional outfit had their main cruiserweight and light heavyweight disappoint in recent weeks, Queensberry's two haven't tonight.
You probably thought about that one, didn't you? So, yeah, correct. Not going to throw any shade at any other fighters, but let's talk about what Ellis did tonight. And Ellis made a big statement announcing himself as a cruiserweight who's right in the mix, and people should be concerned about him, right? The likes of Chris Smith, those sorts of guys, React Paul, all of those guys will have kept an eye on what happened tonight, and they'll know that there's a fella coming up. He's a Boxer tournament champion. He's unbeaten in 16 fights, and it looks like he can whack a little bit, and he's coming for all of them.
Yeah, that was a breathtaking finish, that right hander. Right above me, got blood splattered for my trouble.
On your hat?
Yeah.
Mate,
so,
that means you're going to have to stop wearing it.
No, I think having his blood on it is probably more reason to keep wearing it.
Yeah.
I mean, how far off the top guys is Ellis? How many more fights do you think he needs? He's WBO cruiser champ.
WBO cruiserweight. You can say that 3 of those the fights that he's got in his 16-0 run were like in the tournament, right? So maybe he's like 12, 13-0, that kind of thing. He started boxing quite late. He only had 3 amateur fights. I'd like to see him build on that. And I don't think he's far away at all. Again, look, Okoli for me is the best cruiserweight in the world, right? Which means he's definitely the best in the UK. I think he's up here. But then all these guys under here, for me, there's no one really that's standing out yet. They've got the opportunity to, this fight's being made. But for me, Okoli's the one, and Zorros in the mix underneath.
Yeah, he definitely announced himself with that corker of a right hand.
Yeah.
The co-main, Willie Hutchinson, he's back, recovered from that loss down at super middleweight. Looks like he's comfortable at light heavyweight, and we know light heavyweight's another cracking division. Apparently ringside Dan Aziz said he'd give him a go.
There you go. See, I saw Dan Aziz sat there ringside. I told Willie Hutchinson in the ring, go and shout him. And he did shout him. So then they had a further conversation where Dan Aziz promised Willie Hutchinson a shot at the titles. It's quite something, that, isn't it? That'd be quite exciting. It's good to see him back. Good to see an emphatic performance like that. Ezekiel Moderna is a good fighter, and he was good in there tonight. But Willie Hutchinson showed his class, and it feels like a new man. He's really set himself up in Spain. He's changed all of his training and everything. He's up in weight now as well, and he's a character. And it was a good win for him tonight. I think that'll really set him up.
Yeah, another highlight reel knockout. Let's hope
Moderna's
okay.
Dan Aziz all sorts of problems. Like Dan Aziz is fantastic. He's one of my favourite fighters to watch as well. Willie Hutchinson is a world amateur champion. He's fantastic. I'm not sure why he was trying to do super middleweight, to be honest with you. But I don't think Willie Hutchinson's too far off a fight with a Dan Aziz. He'll say yes to it right now. I don't think it's too unrealistic, to be honest. Great performance tonight.
And of course he's got youth on his side, still all of, 24? So
24 years old. He's a kid. He's a young Willie. He's making his way through.
Yeah, and of course quite a few of the prospects coming on nicely. Carroll, rebuild starts.
Good to see Carroll regrouping and coming back from a loss, which is always difficult to do. And he showed a lot of character. He had a bit of he had to overcome it a little bit in there tonight, but he got the job done, and that will mean the world to him. Get that confidence back, and now begin your surge towards titles. Ryan Garner, just great to see him back, and the body shots, they were just exemplary, just beautiful body shots. Like this is a guy who 6 years ago he was getting all the hype from sort of Queensberry that like a young Dennis McCann was getting really behind him. Frank was calling him the next Naz and all sorts. Sort of went off the rails a little bit, but he's back on the rails. He's got a family, he's got a kid. He's settled down. He's hitting hard. I want to see him back in the gym. I want to see him back in the ring, and I think he can go very far in this sport. And Ellis Jr., mate, what can you say about that?
Well, I'm taking credit for the impending super fight with Tommy Fletcher, because it was me that first asked him about it.
Well, there you go. Look, I mean, full credit to you for connecting to Queensberry cruiserweights and making a bit of a thing. Well done, and hopefully hopefully happens one day. Probably in about 30 to 40 years once we've
I've learnt from the best in stirring things up in Dev Sahni.
I've been threatened by Sonny Warren then. But yeah, great show. Glad you enjoyed it, and sorry about the hat.
Yeah, well, it's all part of the souvenirs. Dev, absolute pleasure. We'll see you at the next one.
Yeah.